What's going on, guys? Anthony here with Mindset Fitness, and at the request of some of my followers, I'm going to do an intro to bulking, and I'm going to do an intro to cutting. But because of time constraints, I'm just going to split them into two separate videos. So this is going to be the bulking video, and then at the same time I post this, I'll put up the cutting video that I do. So let's get right into it. So pretty much bulking. So, alright, I'm going to just use me as a sample person for this because it's easy to relate to and easy to explain based off my own experiences. So let's say, I want to get big. Like, what would I first go about doing? So, alright, I decide I want to put on some muscle. There's two paths I could take. One is a dirty bulk, and one is a clean or lean bulk. Now, the difference being is that on a lean bulk or a clean bulk, whatever you want to call it, you're trying to limit the amount of fat that you gain in comparison to how much muscle you put on. So you want to put on the most amount of muscle that you can while minimizing fat gains. Or you could just do Lee Priest style, if you know who he is. He's a bodybuilder that goes through extremes of being very fat, but putting on muscle and then cutting down. I personally recommend doing a clean bulk. My reasoning behind that is that I know me personally, if I'm bulking and I get to a point where I can realize that I look fat or that I look waterlogged or something like that, it's very hard for me to stick with it and keep bulking. So what I did the last time I did it was I did a 9-month reverse diet lean bulk. That way when I started I was fairly lean. And then, by the time the 9 months was up, yeah, I was very waterlogged and bloated, but it happened so gradually that honestly I didn't even realize until I looked back at older pictures. So, alright, the first thing I want to do if I'm bulking, and if I'm not familiar with my metabolism, is to find out my total daily energy expenditure. Now, there's a ton of calculators for that online. You can look it up. But basically, it uses your age, your activity level, your weight, and your height. And based on all those factors, it'll give you a number that if you eat that many calories a day based on all those factors, you'll break even. It's not your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate. It's your total daily energy expenditure. So it's supposed to account for, exercise and, pretty much everything. So let's just say, for example, that my TDEE was 2,000 calories. If I ate 2,000 calories a day based on that every day, I would maintain weight. So what I want to do is, if I want to gain weight, is I want to pick a number above that. So I normally say to do a 500 surplus a day. So boom, 2,500 calories. So a day, and that creates a 3,500 calorie surplus each week. So what I would want to do is see how much weight I would gain. So when you weigh yourself, try and get it at the same time because you could fluctuate about 5 pounds throughout the day. So first thing in the morning, weigh yourself. I would recommend don't get too hung up the number on the scale. I just use weight as like a reference point to see if I actually am making progress or not. Because the results can be pretty slow, so you can't really see it from like one day to the next. So just weigh yourself in the morning, before you eat anything, just so you get in like the true number. Because I could drink a gallon of water and be up 5 pounds. Does that account for any muscle? No, it's just weight. So weight isn't really that big of a deal. A lot of people get hung up on the number. Please try not to. It's not the all important stat. So what you want to do is, I recommend keeping it, if you want to keep it lean, at the most a pound a week. I understand that gaining can be hard, but some people that aren't hard gainers can put on a pound a week. Anything really more than that, especially if you're not just starting out, is probably going to be a good amount of fat. And you also have to account for water. If you're eating a high amount of carbs, you're going to retain some water. Now, water isn't, the enemy. It's just you're holding water. So it doesn't make you fat. You might have like a softer appearance, but it's not fat. So a lot of my friends that I've helped them with their diets and stuff like that and their training that have like hired me and all that stuff, they were eating like no carbs because they were thinking like, oh, carbs are the enemy. And when I changed up their diet and had them eating more carbs, they gained weight. And if they weren't trying to do that, they would freak out because, oh my God, gaining weight, it must not be working. But it's from the water, from the excess carbs that you weren't getting previously. So just bear in mind that that does play a factor. If you're up like a pound, it doesn't mean it's it could be water. So just take that into account. And it's mostly comes down to your nutrition. You do have to train as well. This is just like a brief overview, so I'm not going to get into like the specifics. But lift heavy. Just go in the gym. Just bust your ass. Split. Get a good training split. Break it up so that you make sure you hit everything. Train your legs. And you honestly, past that, that should be a basic. So once you start doing that, you should see some results. If you don't, you could always contact me. I'll put my email in the bio or something like that. I'll see if I can help you out. See maybe a point that you're stuck at. There's something else I wanted to say. Oh, macronutrient split. Rule of thumb. 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. 17 to like 23% of your calories, total calories. Not including you don't take out the calories from the protein. Total calories from fat, and the rest fill in carbs. So everyone's gonna have, for the most part, a unique macro split. So asking me like what my macros are, or asking Joe Schmo what his are, won't really help you specifically. Unless you ask them like, oh, how much am I supposed to be having per this or per that. Also, get your water in. Drink like half a gallon to a gallon a day. I just buy a case of gallons, and that it's easy because I just finish that in a day, and that's that. You know what I mean? I don't have to keep track of how many bottles of water I'm having or how many times I went over to the fridge to fill up a cup. So yeah, honestly, there's not much to it. Just eat a lot, lift heavy. You should see the results you want. There have been cases where some people aren't training hard enough to break down the muscle and then eat, refuel, like let it grow. So that does play a factor because it works. When you work out, a lot of people think when you work out is when your muscles grow. When you work out, you're tearing down your muscles, and when they repair is when they come back. Like with a vengeance, they come back. Bigger from the repair. So, drink your water, eat your food, lift heavy, and get sleep. Get sleep. I recommend 6 to 8 hours a night. Sleep is important. A lot of people, I almost just said a lot of people sleep on sleep. Sleep is very important for your health, just for your mental well-being too. It'll also allow you, if you're well rested, push a little bit harder in the gym, see some better results. So that's just a very vague and broad generalization of it. If you have any specific questions, leave them in the comments. That's about it. Mindset Fitness, don't have a slogan yet. Boom.